All right, we want you to put yourself in our next guest's shoes. On Sunday, Deb Reeves was forced to rush her 3-year-old daughter, Winter, to hospital after she took a nasty fall from a kitchen stool. Now, upon arrival, the toddler was vomiting and she was unable to recognise her own mother. You can see the bump on her forehead there. But instead of treating Winter for concussion, doctors instead did 2 COVID tests, one of which came back positive.
Now, it was at this point that the 3-year-old was sent home with nothing more than a discharge letter. Deb joins us now on the phone from Calliope near Gladstone in Queensland, where the weather is really impacting them, so her internet is down. Deb, we were shocked when we heard this story. I mean, first and foremost, how's Winter doing?
She's so much better today. It's been a really long week, but she is much, much better.
It's good news.
Gee, that must be a big relief to you after what you've been
really
through.
Is. Yeah, it really is.
So can you just take us back, Deb, to Sunday? Because Winter's condition, I imagine, must have been pretty serious for you to have taken her to hospital.
It was. Her eyes were rolling back in her head and her arms and legs were twitching, and naturally I called an ambulance.
And what happened at that stage?
Yes. One paramedic arrived and he was actually quite concerned about the bump on her head and was transporting her to hospital. And then on arrival to the hospital, they took us directly into a respiratory room. Winter actually vomited in the ambulance the entire way there. She just continuously vomited on the floor of the ambulance. I was in the back of the ambulance on my own with her.
Yeah. I mean, it must be so hard as a mum to see your child like that struggling. What was your reaction then when doctors said they wouldn't be treating Winter?
I was horrified. I thought, we're here for a head injury, not COVID. You know, we were there for the fall and the land on her head and the symptoms from the fall, and we weren't concerned about any other symptoms or any COVID symptoms. Or it was just the fall. And when they left us by ourselves and said that we could come home, I stood there for 10 minutes and just thought, what do I do now? And then there was nobody around. I didn't see another nurse or another doctor. There was just nobody to be seen, and so I got our things and came home.
You sound emotional even just recounting it at the moment, Deb. It sounds like it's been a pretty big ordeal.
I haven't really spoken about it a great deal since it happened, so it is very emotional to think back on.
Well, we appreciate you speaking about it with us. Since visiting the hospital, we know that a GP diagnosed Winter with concussion, which seems at least to be probably the most likely option at the time. Given you know that now, how angry does it make you?
Very, very angry. Her head injury should have trumped COVID any time. I don't even know what to say about it, to be honest. I am just so completely speechless.
So just to be really clear, Deb, so when you arrived, did they didn't do any checks on her before the COVID test? They didn't check for concussion? No. Nothing? No,
they did a RAT on her, which was negative. And then half an hour after that, a doctor came in and he forcibly looked in her ears and down her throat and flashed a light in her eyes. She was very, very uncooperative at this point still. She didn't want anybody to touch her or go near her.
Yeah. I think we all sort of sympathise with the struggles that hospitals have been through and know that this balance has been so difficult between treating emergency situations like Winter's and the ongoing pandemic. How would you like to see situations like this handled moving forward?
I really don't know. I felt like the hospital was more interested in doing their COVID tests than they were in actually treating the issue that we were there for. They weren't interested in the head injury. I think we need to go back to treating the issues that need to be treated and not just panicking about COVID first and foremost. I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, and look, to be very clear, this is not standard practice. This is not what should happen. We did check in with some doctors earlier today to see what happens in a scenario like this. And what you're explaining is not what should have happened. And it seems surprising considering every hospital in this country has dealt with COVID and should have protocols in place. Deb, I just want to let you know that we did reach out to Gladstone Hospital and we got a statement back saying that they can't comment publicly on this individual case. However, we are always looking to improve our service wherever possible and will be happy to meet with Winter's mother to discuss her concerns, which can be arranged. Would you be up for talking to the hospital?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Absolutely. Well, look, we're so sorry that you've gone through this. We're very happy to hear that little Winter is okay.
Yeah.
That's a nasty little bump to her head there.
It was horrible, and it's taken all week for her to recover. She actually slept for 2 days solid.
That's scary.
After that, yeah.
That is scary after a bump to the head. It shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, it really was.
We can hear her behind you, and we're glad that she's making some noise. Give her a big hug for you and one from us as well, and we appreciate your time this morning.
All right, thanks for that, Deb.